When it comes to Lithuania, I think the biggest or the most unique thing here is that we kind of managed to achieve very much in a small amount of time. We have leapfrogged many of other countries in Europe, especially in the Baltics, and became kind of a de facto epicenter, post-Brexit, or following all other events in the market. So I think that's kind of a unique.
Linas, it's great seeing you again here in Vilnius. Thanks for taking time to speak to us today.
Thanks for having me.
Before we start, for those that haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, please tell us briefly who you are and what you do.
All right, that's kind of a both easy and difficult question. So basically, in short, I'm kind of a fintech guy. So on let's say day-to-day job, or in terms of my career, I'm working at Flutterwave, basically leading their expansion into Europe. Besides that, or in addition to that, I also kind of actively follow what's happening in the Fintech and technology space and share my insights.
Linas, you're going to be speaking at the Fintech Day here in Vilnius in February. Tell us a little bit about what are the insights, or what are the things in your mind that you would like to convey to the audience of the Fintech Day?
So this is still work in progress. Obviously, we're trying to make sure that it's both appealing, interesting. But the core idea will obviously be around the trends that are driving the markets right now and the trends that will drive the markets in the future. So obviously, it will definitely one way or another will touch artificial intelligence or generative AI, how finance companies are leveraging it right now, how they should leverage or how they will leverage in the future, and what are kind of the benefits or maybe the risk and challenges, especially taking into account maybe or slightly touching upon the recent news about the AUAA Act and how that could maybe increase innovation or stifle innovation. So these are kind of topics that I would like to speak about, but again, this is work in progress. Things might change. So we're really trying to make sure that the keynote or the presentation is relevant and on top of what's happening right now.
Amazing. I'm really looking forward to hearing you on stage. Now, I also would love to get your take on what makes the fintech ecosystem in Lithuania and the rest of the Baltics unique.
A very tough question, a very good question. So I think one of the key benefits is that we all different kind of countries in the Baltics are relatively small, but kind of close to each other. So separately we might not be maybe that big or that interesting, but together as Baltics it's kind of a unique. We have the same currency, maybe same vibe or aspirations for global ambitions, and it's I think also very good that we have relatively strong neighbors that are leading by example. So I would definitely name Estonians, with the Wisest, with the Skypes, and many other different businesses that are basically showing us of what can or cannot be done. Definitely more on the positive side. Now, when it comes to Lithuania, I think the biggest or the most unique thing here is that we kind of managed to achieve very much in a small amount of time. So when the positioning Lithuania as a fintech hub began, we have leapfrogged many of other countries in Europe, especially in the Baltics, and became kind of a de facto epicenter, post-Brexit, or following all other events in the market. So I think that's kind of a unique. Obviously, things have changed since then, but I think the fintech ecosystem is still kind of a strong, vibrant, and kind of closely tied to each other, so we can learn and grow together.
All right, and events like the Fintech Day that have grown from being a local event and now with international ambitions, what do events like that do for the local ecosystem?
So I would probably say three main points. One is obviously PR, so we could speak about ourselves, show what we're capable of and what we have achieved. Another thing is fostering the ecosystem, so sharing the learnings, sharing the challenges, and basically kind of spreading that public good to all all of the ecosystem players. And probably the third one is obviously, again, more on the macro level or on the individual level. So for the companies or people that maybe are less known, but have things to say or share, so they could have the floor, have the mic to just voice their opinions, voice their views, and hopefully the ecosystem, the regulators and other players will hear and take action.
Okay, right now, I know you have a massive followership on social media, and you're constantly talking about AI, machine learning, the latest trends. What comes next? What's the trend, or what's the technology that you see beyond that really excites you?
A very good question, a very difficult question. So maybe I will start off with one that's especially interesting for me is the combination between AI and finance, the symbiosis of these two trends. It's still very early, and most of the things that we see right now are basically the companies adapting what's available, whether it's ChatGPT or other large language models or chatbots, and implementing into their tech stack. But what will be even more interesting is how they can basically build something on top of that, or do this by themselves. So for the folks that are following me, there's a very interesting thing called financial large language model, which is kind of one of them is open source, where you can build applications on top, and all the communities, developer communities that are working in the field can contribute. So that's very, very interesting, because most of the innovation right now is on the closed source, closed model. So many people joke about OpenAI, which has the name open, but it's actually closed. It's not open source. So open source developments in the financial space, in the financial large language models, this is very interesting. And then beyond AI, I think something that we don't appreciate enough, which is probably because that we have kind of a very well working solutions in our market. This may be the likes of stable coins and money transfers, leveraging crypto or blockchain infra. So while here it's not maybe that useful because we have SEPA Instant and other P2P solutions, but in the developing world, in emerging markets, this is kind of a for some people and for some kind of a business is kind of a lifeblood of their economy, because they want to preserve the value of the currency, and two, they want to send the money internationally hassle-free and very, very cheaply.
Right. Okay. That's super interesting in the financial large language models.
Yeah.
All right. Now, if I was to ask you, what do you think the financial services industry would look like beyond 5 years and beyond? Do you anticipate really fundamental changes in the way things work?
Yeah. So as much as I would like to, I guess the innovation might be, especially in the financial services field, which is kind of old and conservative. It wouldn't be that advanced and that fast as what we could have in the tech industry, or specifically AI. And probably the best kind of example is if you just look at the image generating AI capabilities and what has been achieved in just like 1.5 years. It's amazing, right? So in the finance field, probably I guess we won't have that big of a leapfrogging innovation, but I do expect that the companies, especially the smaller, more nimble startups, will leverage the capabilities, which effectively will be a net positive thing for the for the communities, for the people, and for the businesses. But to have anything massive, anything major, I guess we'll have to wait beyond 5 years.
So we need to wait and see. Now, I'd like us to get a little bit creative. And so if I ask you to come up with a slogan that invites either founders, entrepreneurs, talent, or fintechs to the Lithuanian market, to make Lithuania their home for fintech, what would that slogan say?
Okay, yeah. So I think we can go with something kind of more provocative. So I guess so fintech will make Lithuania great again. So come join us and build the revolution together.
That's amazing. Help us build the revolution together. Exactly. Amazing. I love it. Yeah. Linas, it's great seeing you again. I'm super excited to hear you in February at the FinTech Day. And again, thank you so much for coming and sharing all those insights with us.
Thank you a lot, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.